Welcome to the Forever Better Academy podcast, where you will be given the principles, tools, and techniques to reach the next stage on your journey of self-mastery. Who could you become? I'm your host, Wade Vincent. How would your life change if you could be unapologetically who you are? And that's something that I struggled with for a long time, and a portion of that really was understanding and learning who I was. So this is Wade Vincent, and you're listening to the Forever Better Academy podcast. Now, this is something that I think is probably far more common than most people realize. And I think almost to the point where everybody goes through this, where you're trying to find your identity and learn who you are and where you belong. It's part of the way we're wired to be social creatures and interact, and that connection is important to all of us. So it's only natural to feel that immense pressure and importance as you're growing up and finding yourself to also find where you belong. So now, when I was younger, like anyone else going through the same thing, typically it seems to be a thing that's very common in high school. So in Australia, we don't have sort of middle school like America does. It's just 6 years of primary and then straight into 6 years of high school. I really was just like anyone else, learning to navigate my existence and my place in society and the world, and even to a smaller extent just where I fit in at on the campus. And I had the not ambition, but I guess the desire to want to be liked. Now I never wanted to be like the jock or that star athlete or anything like that. I was absolutely competitive and sporty, and I like to think of myself as very much a sort of all-rounder, reasonably good at most things, and not necessarily a standout in any sort of specific field. So I did have that ambition, that desire. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be popular, not to be like necessarily like the coolest kid in school or anything in that regard. But everyone knows as you go through this, life is a lot easier when you're liked and popular. And that's not just a school thing. This is something that you learn in life, how it positions you and how you're able to navigate your existence and your reality based on how you sort of fit in the world. So I had this feeling, of course I want to be popular, I want people to like me. And then, that's very much the outward facing. It's very easy to put on this facade because, in high school, part of learning your identity or finding your identity or creating your identity is trying on different styles, trying on, different groups that you want to be part of, or things that you might like, and what you're interested in, and where that leads you. It takes a little time. I don't feel that people I think can be coached through or guided to be maybe say a prodigy or an elite athlete. You can definitely be coached through and prepared or positioned for those things, but the majority of us, the rest of us, just have to sort of navigate of our own accord and try some things and see what we like and learn. Inside that secret deep dark place that you never want to reveal to anyone, how you're truly feeling when you're in high school, was I had this even after high school for a long time. I had this feeling, why is no one like me? this is probably a common thing too. You know, a lot of people probably do have that feeling that you're unique or different, or you don't fit, and maybe it's just the where you grow up, or the people you're exposed to, or who you're around, or there's lots of factors that shape that and position you in that sort of reality. And I just didn't ever ever feel like anyone was like me. And that took a long time, even I'd say even well into my 30s. I have a very small group of friends that mean the world to me, that are like me. Um, but even in that regard, I feel like there's differences that you know, when you find those people that are just like, they're your people, you click, and you've got that similarity, right? There's this handful, as I say, I have that are very much, I grew up with, just like me. Those, you know, just, you know, good funny people, just goofy people that, you know, deep down sweethearts with, you know, ambition to, you know, master their craft and do well and live a good life. You know, that's all we can ask for, I guess. It's, you know, a nice way to feel and be. And those are the people that eventually I started to find. And when I felt this, why is no one like me, right? Um, it 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 really just sort of smacked me in the face. You know, like, that's a hard thing to sort of feel like you're outcast or different, or you're so different that there's no one possibly like you. And as I get older now, I can promise you, there's almost 8 billion people on the planet, and there's only so many different sort of types of people. And I guarantee you, there is plenty of people out there that are just like you. They just might not be close to where you are, but they're out there, and you can find them, and they're probably sitting there wondering where you are as well. And so I really, if as I said, it felt like it smacked me in the face. That was like that reality for me of, okay, well, I'm on my own. No one is like me. So what now? What do I do? How do I fit? How do I I'm not textbook popular. I'm not that. I didn't sort of hit the high school lottery of being like, you know, the one that people want to hang around. It just wasn't my reality. And I think, and this probably came after high school too, as it takes a little bit of time. You know, sometimes I think I'm maybe a late bloomer, or just slow to pick up on things. God knows. My wife would tell you I probably don't pick things up fast enough. I think you can't genuinely find that true connection that you're looking for until you let it all go and be unapologetically yourself. Completely own who you are, with no worry about how people are going to react or respond, for better or worse. You just jump off that cliff, and it's you, and whatever happens happens. And that's that that transitional, that different moment where everything turns around. And it's such an ironic thing, because as you're trying on these personalities, um, for me especially, I think, you know, or in my case, a lot of it was facade, or putting on a persona. And it's not that I didn't feel that's who I was, but I don't think that I was listening closely enough to do the work and understand who I truly was. I could hear the voice trying to call to me, but it was like I would ignore it, or I'd push it down, and I'd try not to acknowledge it. And yeah, it's like an ironic thing, because when you're you know, and I've had many personalities of, or personality is not the right thing. People are gonna think I'm schizophrenic or something like that. It's personas, I think, is a better way to put it. So, from I was the little skater kid, I was the homeboy, I was the graffiti writer, I was the rapper, I was the b-boy, the breakdancer. Even to this point, my identity, you could say I'm the entrepreneur, or I'm the salesman, or the businessman, or whatever you want to call it. But go through, or for me, going through so many different personas, trying to find what resonated with me, what felt good, what felt natural. I found the groups of people that were like that those people that maybe that was their authentic self, that they were, say, the skater, or the graffiti writer, whatever it may be, the athletes, or the nerds, whatever it is. And I think the if I really look at it now, the real reason why I felt that no one was like me is because I wasn't being unapologetically my true self. And if you're playing a role, even unintentionally, or putting on a facade, or putting up walls to protect yourself because it's scary letting people see your true self, you can't possibly connect with like-minded people, because the truth is they can't see you. If you're putting on, a disguise, or you're wearing a mask, or you're playing a character, how can your people, your like-minded people, your kind, your tribe, how can they find you? They can't see you. If you can't see yourself, you can't expose yourself for people to see you in all your glory, shining bright, being yourself. And I tell you, when you do, when you find out deep inside, and it just, you align with, yourself, and who you truly are, it's like a ray of light, almost like a beacon that goes out. A good example is like, the bat light, right? Like, it's like putting out the call. Like, I am here. I know who I am. I'm ready to show the world. And when you do that, other people see you. It's it's speaking your truth. And sometimes it takes a lot of self-discovery, and this is what it's about. This is why I do Forever Better, because the impact and improvement, and just the monumental shift and change in my life that has occurred, and how I approach every day, and how I feel, and the opportunities that have come my way, and just the optimism and removal of anxiety and depression, and angst, and just tormented, and just that torture that I was putting myself through because I was scared, was more painful than exposing myself and being vulnerable and showing the world who I am, and being exposed to people that don't like it. That hurts far less than the pain of feeling like you don't belong. The feeling like there's no one like you. If you are going through the same thing, and this is your patterns, and how you sort of shy away from things, and you're trying to find your identity right now, and the universe has put this in front of you, and you're listening, and you need this. I promise, once you let it all go, the pain just disappears, because you're not fighting against yourself. All that hostility and anger is just, it's your body, your spirit, your energy trying to tell you that this isn't right. Pain is a reaction. It's instinctual for us to move away from pain. We're wired to learn that. We move towards reward and away from pain, and all these things are little indicators, or like a guidance system that's is built into us to encourage us and move us away from those things. It's telling us something, and a lot of times we forget how to listen to our own bodies and these signals that are built in. This is our instinct, and if you can strip away and be okay with the world seeing who you really are, the people that you want to see you will see you. And then you've got to go through it. I'm here, my job is to share these insights with you, share these stories and the experiences I've been through and the lessons that I've learned that can change and impact your life and shift things like you never imagined. Because it's done so for me. I think about, it felt like it took forever, just to really be okay. And I don't know why. That's maybe some more work I need to do. I don't know why I was so scared. I don't know why I was afraid to let people see who I was. And I've read books about it, and listened to different podcasts myself, and watch videos on it, and a lot of science points to it being a survival mechanism that's evolved over time. Because traditionally, if we were in our small groups, our tribes of, say, that 150 people in that tribe, if you don't appease that group, and you are sort of left as an outcast or on the outskirts of that group, your survival was genuinely and real, authentically in doubt. You could end up losing your life if you don't have that support and safety of the tribe. And I think that makes a lot of sense, in this day and age, because things are moving so quick, and we still have those built-in mechanisms that protect us, but they don't serve us anymore. So it's important to not be afraid and come out of your shell and let the world see who you are. You have to let down your guard. Because as I said, I promise you that it hurts far less when you're being yourself and someone judges you or hates you for it than it does when you're holding yourself back or you're covering up the wonder that is you. It's once you're comfortable in your own skin and you're free to be yourself, it doesn't matter what people think. You don't worry, because you're not doing it to impress anyone. You're not putting on a facade. Again, you're not playing a character or playing a role, because when you do those things, especially in my experience, when I was being the rapper or being the skater or being the little sport kid, like, part of it is trying to make people like you and keep people happy and not put yourself in a position of danger, as I talk about that evolutionary trait, right, of staying safe within the tribe and not being exposed to potentially fatal outcomes in those small villages back way back. It's a phenomenal thing, and people are going to judge you regardless, right? So it doesn't matter what you do, whether like, if you can look at, like, perfect example, right, Donald Trump. Some people absolutely love the man. Some people hate the man and have so much hostility towards him. But I guarantee you, at 75 years old, however old he is now, I think 74, he's himself. Trump doesn't do anything to impress you. He couldn't care less. He's him. You love him or hate him, he's living himself. That's who he is. What are you going to do about it? There's people, like, I guarantee you, right, there are people out there that hate Mother Teresa. I guarantee it. You could be the greatest human being in existence that ever lived, that made the most impact and moved society forward, you know, exponentially, and someone will hate you for it. There's probably people who hate Da Vinci. It's crazy, you know. It doesn't matter. Let them hate you. You weren't born to please everyone. You know, no one is. And to be real, I'm sure everyone listening to this, you probably hate someone now. I know there's people that I don't feel very fond about. You know, I'm sure everyone has those feelings. It's just normal, you know, because those people don't click with you. They're not your kind of people. They don't align with you. And, you know, as long as no one's acting on that, it doesn't hurt anyone. You're not supposed to like everyone, and not everyone's supposed to like you. But when you are okay with that, everything becomes much clearer. It becomes a little easier because when you're truly embracing who you are, you're owning it, you're proud of who you are. And the thing is, there's no one in the world like you. You're one of a kind. Now, I know that sounds contradictory, right, to finding people like you. Of course, there's tons of overlap, and there's people that have, you know, maybe 98% identical thoughts and ideas, and the things that they love are just like you. But there's those little beautiful things about you that make you unique. And if you're doing a disservice if you hold those things back from the world. You're not giving your fullest self. You're not in service, and you're not living in abundance. Because when you feel that and you realize that you have that inside you, your world becomes limitless. You're not thinking about, you know, does this person like my hair, or do my clothes make me look like I've got a lot of money? It's just, it melts away. And then you can focus on what matters. And when you know who you are, you know what matters to you, because you understand, you know, in that completeness, who you are and what's important to you. So I think probably the biggest, I guess the word, maybe achievement, I don't like to look at it like that, but it you know, explains what I'm trying to get at. That I experienced from finding myself was that it completely removed all the friction in my life that was slowing my progress down. Right? So if you imagine, you know, you're in a cart and you're traveling down a road, and the wheels are cracked, and there's still a wheel, but there's, you know, lots of bumps in the road, and as your cart's moving, it can't move as fast as you know it's intended to, or as it's capable of, because it's getting snagged on those cracks in the wheels, and then it's hitting a rock and getting held up on the journey down that road. And once you start to remove all that unnecessary the layers that you're hiding behind, that or presenting to the world, all that friction disappears, because there's nothing in the way of you growing and evolving and progressing in the way that you want to. Everything runs more smoothly. You've taken away that mental capacity that you're using to live up to those personas, or hold on to those stories that you're telling yourself, or you're presenting to people. That's tiring. It takes a lot to play a character, indefinitely. When you remove all that, you have so much more focus in the right areas. You're able to see different things that you didn't see before because you're not clouded. Your judgment and your vision of what you're trying to do or where you're going can be dialed in because you're clear on who you are. And if you think about this body being your vehicle, right? This is the spaceship, the car, the whatever you want to call it, that's gonna drive you. This is how you move. This is how you get around. This is how you navigate your environment and interact with others. So once you fine tune and get your your engine running efficiently, as a silly car analogy, I know, but it makes sense. You understand what I'm talking about. It everything just takes care of itself. When you take care of yourself, everything else takes care of itself. It's a funny thing, I think the greatest outcome that sort of comes from it is, as I've mentioned the word aligned a couple of times, and I can't think of a better word to explain it. It feels like all the pieces are in the right place. Once and like at the time where certain personas or who I was at the time in my life when I was younger, I felt like I was being my authentic self. And I think to an extent, I guess I was, with what I knew and what I was aware of and how much I understood who I was. But if you listen and you understand and you hear the signals, whether it's, you're being, embracing who you are and you're truly unapologetic about who you are. I know that I felt those things and I tried to ignore them. They don't go away. That's the thing. You've got to keep doing that work. And once you face your fears, they disappear. It's a wonderful thing. And I want the same for each and every one of you that's listening. If you're listening to this now, or you're watching this and you feel not sure who you are or where you belong, take some time. Go away for a little bit of time and think. Somewhere quiet. Just be alone. Clear your mind. Don't worry. Don't think about what other people think. Clear your head and listen. Let it tell you. That voice is in you, and it's so powerful. It's so big if you just let it come out. And once you do, it's like putting a megaphone in front of your face and as I said, like a beacon, just scream into the world, like, I'm here, I've arrived. And then just the wonder that comes beyond that, it's a nice thing, As I say, I'll never say it enough. Who could you become? It's what it's all about. And the beautiful thing is, it's not a persona. You're not trying to be someone. Becoming yourself. Who could you become? It's already in you. You're just learning to listen and let it free. All right, guys, I thank you so much for listening, for watching. If you like what I do, if you like this and there's value in it, please subscribe to the channel, follow on social media, share this out, let people know, because if these are the things that I've learned through, trial and error, and it can change one person's life and they don't have to go through years of struggle to learn something, then, it's done what it's intended. All right, guys, this is Wade Vincent, Forever Better Academy. Who could you become? All right, I will talk to you again soon. Hopefully, when I do, you're a little clearer on who you are, and I look forward to meeting the authentic you. See you guys. Bye.